going to be facing when they come back. So we did a lot of research into more of the civilian life aspect of things. We did a lot of look into like basic statistics for vets and troops when they get back.
Good.
So what I guess the research that I did do. One of them was I started researching a lot of surveys that people took for the military. So it says from patient.co states that of 1,431 people surveyed, 2.7% have a probability of being affected by post-traumatic stress disorder. 2.6% of those are men, and 3.3% of them are women are affected by it. The Guardian states soldiers working hours surveyed. 64% of soldiers were working overtime. Gail Kinman, professor of occupational health psychology at the University of Bedfordshire, long working hours, attendance at compulsory social events, and the need to work at home will undoubtedly have a negative impact on family life and will also reduce opportunities for soldiers to recover fully from the psychological and physical demands of their work. So we're like, I guess what that was about was talking about the stress that they deal with after coming from serving in the military, and well, those are the people that I thought would be like a good target to. But like some.
What do you mean those people? What people? The people that are the 2% that have PTSD.
Well, they were part of our target. So another one would be for women as well. I tried to like research and see the difference between women in service and men in service, and I found one thing that I found interesting was that they get paid the same, and their accommodations, although they're different, they receive the same training as the men do, and aside from the physical performance examinations that they hold for them, it's all like relatively the same. And I thought it was interesting that even for the LGBT community, a lot of it is after the Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, the LGBT community was able to openly attend in the military.
Are you talking about the UK military?
Yeah.
Okay, but they didn't have a law, or did they repeal?
Yeah, they had the Don't Ask, Don't Tell part. And then in 1999, the trans community was also allowed into it, which I found interesting. All of this I found it in the feministing.com. So for the treatment, I try to, for the treatment of soldiers, they're treated very well, I think. They're given information on how to deal with stress. 17,000, their pay is 17,000 to 35,000. I try to find out how much.
Pounds?
Euros.
Euros.
I try to find out like.
Euros? That doesn't make sense. They don't have euros.
Yeah, UK people use pounds, man.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Oh, you're making it up. You're making it up.
I saw that.
Blowing it.
Yeah,
Is that pounds?
that's euros.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what. Yeah, I read that.
That's interesting. Check your.
Okay, I'll check that.
You know, it's competition, dog.
And I guess so I found the 15 military departments of community health centers that they give treatment for that help treat them.
I can't wait till the logo goes up.
So what are the key characteristics you're looking at in terms of the vets that you're going to be, that might be part of this nonprofit? What are the key sort of segments that you're looking at?
Well, I wanted to see the difference between the other, like one of the companies that we saw was the Tee Up for the Troops, and I wanted to see the difference between that one and what we could possibly do for this one. And one thing I found was it's well, when I saw in the video, it's more like I saw a lot of men, so I wanted to like be inclusive for everyone. So inclusivity was one thing that I found interesting. Was one thing that I thought would be strong with this nonprofit organization. And I think it would be a good example to show it for other countries, not just in the UK area. Like, because the United States military still has a long way to go in regards to allowing who they allow to be open-minded, open in the military. I think this could be like a stepping stone for us.
Wait a second. What is our program here for the nonprofit? So what is Tee Up for Troops? They're playing golf.
Yeah.
For the vets.
Mhm.
Okay. So everybody, okay, so your personal agenda is one thing, and I'm glad you feel that way, and there's nothing wrong with that, but what is that gonna accomplish for the nonprofit? So you're comparing the US to the UK?
I guess that was one thing.
Yeah, it's not a competition,
Mhm.
but also it's a very different culture as
Yeah.
well. So because there's no way that, unless you've lived there or hung out with a lot of British citizens, it's very hard for you to go deeply into that culture. So try not to put too much of the United States into that, I think. You'll go back to Tee Up for Troops, you know. Well, what I was asking, because you did the research of the kinds of needs that the vets have, what are the needs in particular? Do you want to write down anything that you've identified? After they transit outside of the military, what are the kinds of issues that they have? Stress being one.
The stress, the long working hours,
And when you say
usually-
long working hours, what does that?
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
Where did I-
Where are they having to work so many long hours?
That one I didn't look up.
Well, I mean, because, is that across the board? All of the vets work really long hours?
Well, the Guardian had posted a survey saying that 64% of soldiers were working overtime. That was part of the research that Gail Kinman had.
Soldiers or vets?
Soldiers.
So they're not vets?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Veterans. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The difference between those two.
Yeah, we are
After.
talking about the vets. So why were 64% of them all working overtime?
They worked over 10 hours each time.
Why? Because they almost have different jobs. Well, I'm just saying that, sometimes when facts sound kind of wonky,
Yeah.
it's a British term, you gotta kind of try to find out more.
Okay.
Okay, so stress, overtime. If you say 64%, that's some overtime. These are the different teams, Maria. Number 4 is another team. That's your team.
No, I think she's trying to say that they're four, because we're the
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Does the
last
number
class,
matter?
No, she's
our
just
group
confused.
were what, 4? Number 4.
It's okay, yeah, it won't matter. Anything else?
And also, like, in terms of who we wanted to be a part of was, for example, Tee Up for Tea had church affiliations. So I think having the church as a part for volunteering would be.
So you're comparing the United States one? to the-
No, just having sponsors. No, this was.
But
Wait, what's
our program is design research to understand what kind of creative direction we can go to represent them well, to represent visual organization.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to find their sponsors.
Okay.
Okay, what else do you guys have?
Okay. So we actually did a little research into the other company that's called Tee Up for the Troops to try to make sure that we don't make one that looks exactly like it. So we actually have a picture of it here.
The golf ball with the
Yeah.
veterans profile and
Yeah,
American
it's
flag.
all red, white, blue.
Yeah, before they did
It's-
this
yeah.
one, this logo, but they changed. The actual, it is. It is this one.
Yeah, that's the one that I saw.
The meaning is because it's based on gold, and like it's a soldier and the American flag, and the 3 stars, actually, they said that the meaning is like eyes, ear, and mind. Because it was like, they do a lot of, they treat the veterans in like physical and psychological. Like they try to help the veterans like in the all ways they can, not just like to give money. Like they try to do like stuff like to have fun.
Eyes, ears, and physical?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's like
emotional, physical.
They're focused more on like
yeah.
rehabilitation.
Okay, so this is the thing that you're discovering is that in the design, there is a purpose for every graphic element that they've created for the logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
they say that
it's good, you should be able to explain it. Sometimes an identity, even if it's a typeface, can actually be so evocative that people can talk about their organization based on the design. So that helps them be able to talk about their organization. So in design, that's really useful. That's why sometimes there's a symbol, a logo.
So I think when I was looking at the logo and I was reading through the history of the logo, I think there was just so much added to it, like the stars, the soldier, the flag. It just kind of became a little overwhelming. So I think.
By who was overwhelmed?
Well, I was overwhelmed, and then when I posted it up online, my friends were like, "Oh my God, there's so much going on."
Yeah. Well, but
Yeah.
But the question is, before you decide to put your view on a design, find out how it's working.
Mhm.
Find out if there's, often you can Google and you'll find, or you read the website. Did you go through every page of that website?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you'll find some commentary or some news about, how people receive. You can usually kind of determine, but in a longer research project, you would actually interview. But here's the thing. That's their organization, so I wouldn't place. Did you search for other veterans organizations?
Yes.
Okay, good.
One of our other team members sent the information to me. Didn't have a lot of other things on it, but from what I got, it showed the main like logos and crests for some of the more prominent UK nonprofit organizations, and it's usually one color with a white font on it. Most tend to opt for more traditional looking typefaces, script style fonts. That seems to be very prominent. A more traditional look. And then
serif font.
yeah, serif fonts and that sort of thing. And then also with a lot of the military crests, it looks very traditional, a bit more elaborate. I was looking at the more of the civilian side of it. So what sort of things, if the vets come back and they want to play golf, what sort of logos are they seeing now outside of the more traditional aspect? And I was looking at a list of some of the like the biggest sellers within the golf apparel world, and those tend to be more serif fonts, less colors used. It's usually black and white or black, white, gray, and then one accent color. It's not as
What brands are you looking at, or what organizations? Oh, okay.
But I had like a whole list. I searched on a few different sites.
You can post it on Facebook.
Yes, I
too.
can.
Yeah.
I found a
It's
list
good
of
to
them.
share what links you found
Mhm.
after this class. So, in summary, what are you thinking in terms of what's out there?
Well, from what I'm thinking of trying to move more towards the civilian life for these vets, I'm thinking more towards the simplified contemporary look, perhaps an accent of the traditional to kind of call back to their history in the military, but maybe moving away from the entirely traditional looking things to try and kind of show that this organization is more about the comfort of the civilian life, This is supposed to be more recreational, it's golf,
So-
we do it to have fun.
So this is